Hey Naomi, how are you doing? I thought you were supposed to be doing some maths work. I'm pretty sure you should be acing those maths practice questions. Welcome nevertheless. How do you work this thing? Ah, you're done, are you? Oh, that's good to know. I hope when I come to check them that you're going to get them all right. Never mind. Well done nevertheless. Okay, so what are we doing today? Welcome those of you who have just joined. Um, probably my second or third attempt of actually going live in the garden. It's a nice day today, not too sunny, a bit overcast, but the sun is popping in and out throughout the morning. But I thought I'll just go live for once. I was meant to be doing some recording to post on the channel, but today I'm going to take it nice and easy. It's been quite a busy few days for me. I've been helping a friend to actually do some gardening work of their own, who just bought a new place. And we had to chop down these conifer trees that are sort of around the garden. And yeah, if you've been watching me for any length of time, you know that I absolutely love nature. I love gardening, anything to do with a garden. But having trees in the garden is kind of a little pet peeve of mine because they tend to block out the sunlight and they can cause all kind of other challenges. And when you've got a small garden, like most people here in the UK, it does get pretty annoying quickly. But nevertheless, welcome Anthony. Good to see you, man. From Benidorm, no doubt. Nice to see you joining me, man. Listen, why didn't you send me an invite? I would have happily joined you. I hope your holiday's going well. Um, yeah, it's nice to be able to travel for sure. Who's looking after your allotment while you're away? You know how crazy that gets. It's not easy to look after plants, especially when you've got to travel. Yeah, so yeah, today I'm just going to show you guys around the garden. We've actually got a few things which are ripening on the vine, namely tomatoes, which finally are starting to come in. It feels like my tomatoes have taken a lot longer to start ripening compared to some of the other guys here on YouTube, but you know, swings and roundabout. But nevertheless, I'm really, really happy. Hopefully, I can see any comments that you guys have posted down below, which is nice. So yeah, I'm just gonna flip the camera around because you're not here for me. I'm sure you're here to see what's sort of growing in the garden. Um, don't mind any mess that you can see. It's still everything is still fluctuating as you can imagine. Yeah, my dad's looking after. That's nice, man. You've got somebody who is basically there to look after your garden when you're not there. That's one thing that I'm really struggling to think about when we go on holiday. Um, who's going to take care of our garden? You know, nobody really does it like you do because you know all the ins and outs. But it's nice that your old man, who I'm sure has got plenty of experience, is able to do that. We went away about a month and a half ago. My family and I went away for about 4 or 5 days, and like when we came back, I was shocked with the amount of devastation that there was in the garden. So many plants were affected because they didn't get any water. We haven't been having much rain, and so yeah, it's been quite crazy. Um, Let me flip this around. There we go. We haven't been having much rain, which has been quite crazy. So some of my crops really struggled, especially my chayote plant, which we literally almost lost. I haven't been able to, I haven't actually been able to see any blossoms start on it. Let me take you over to that chayote plant, by the way, so you guys can have a look. And as you can see over there, a lot of the leaves actually were drying up and it was literally dying back. I literally thought we were going to lose it. I've been watering it like crazy since to try and get it to be revived, and it's actually put out some new shoot. So you can see them up there, which is really, really good. But there's no blossom, which is not a good sign. We've got a really short season here, and the fact that there's no blossoms this late in the year isn't a good sign that we're going to get any chayote fruit this year, which is a bit of a bummer. We've got a little challenge going with some of our subscribers to see who can actually get their plant to fruit. And 2 years in a row, I've managed to have fruit on the plants, and it seems as if it won't be third time lucky. So, figures, the moment I do a challenge is the year when things have gone south. But yeah, everything's been affected by the drought. I don't know if you guys have been experiencing that as well. I'm sure you probably have if you live in the UK. Yeah, it's really, really crazy. Have you ever seen an old man eating a Twix? Oh dear. I don't know if I want to even respond to that one. But yeah, let's stick to gardening. Let's stick to gardening. So over here, I'll give you guys a little tour while I'm here. Is where we've got a few berries, a few plants in some pots. These berries here were given to me. Well, I kind of stole them from my brother's house actually. These ones here are some raspberries, which actually fruited this year, and we've got some on here even now. I've been picking them slowly but surely as they ripen, guys. They're not the biggest, I must say. I guess it's the first year, so I'm hoping that as the years go on, they'll start to get a lot bigger. But yeah, it's doing well. I'm trying to grow raspberries in a pot. I haven't placed it in the ground because they do tend to sort of spread, and I don't really want them to spread too much. So I've kept them in the pot, and there's proof that you can actually harvest fruit from there. This is literally just the first year, so as the years go on, I'm sure we'll have more and more in there. So we've got some raspberries over here. I'm not going to eat these ones because they haven't been washed, and I found that some insects actually love raspberries crawling in there and like just hanging out. So if you eat these without washing them, you might end up tasting some funny tastes of some of the locals. So a word to a wise, perhaps washing these is a great idea before actually eating them. But one thing I must say, they are very sweet. I'll just look and just eat just a little piece. They are very sweet, guys, which is good. And it's absolutely loaded. One of the things I love about raspberry plants over strawberries is the fact that they actually fruit throughout the season. Like all my strawberries have now dried up and literally are so knackered from all the fruiting earlier on in the sort of spring, summer. But now the raspberries are still going, which is really, really cool. So hopefully as the years go on, this plant will get bigger. I'll probably have to put it in a larger pot and just keep harvesting. Saying that, I am actually eating these. Even though I told myself not to eat them without washing anymore, because you never know who might be lurking in there. But they are so sweet even though they're tiny. Thank you so much, Anthony. Yeah, man, we've been trying our best to just keep the garden going, even though it's been a drought. You know what it's like to keep these plants watered, man. It is no easy task whatsoever. Um, and yeah, we've been eating from it as well, which is what you want, right? All right, you take care of yourself. Enjoy your holiday, man, and hope to see you back when you get back. Yeah, just enjoy yourself. It's nice to be able to travel and to see the world. So enjoy yourself over there in Benidorm. So yeah, I don't know who else is with us in the live, but do let me know if you're joining us today. Let's see what else we can see here. We do have some harvesting to do today, which is good. Over in that corner where we got our chayote, we've actually got our sweet corn. Now again, the drought has not been kind on the garden, and these sweet corn are really, really short. I'm going to show you a difference between these ones over here, which hardly had any water, and these ones over here, which have fared a bit better. They're a bit taller, but they really, really struggled this year, guys. It's just been so crazy. But we've actually got sweet corn on the plants. They probably won't get that big because of the circumstance, but we've got sweet corn nonetheless. I just threw these ones in because we had a few seeds that were gifted to me, and I wanted to just see what would grow really. In the back there, we've got some callaloo, which is now going to seed like crazy. Now, this year, we've actually had so much callaloo compared to the years previous. They sort of just pop up wherever they fancy, really. And this is what the seeds actually look like for the callaloo. I'm leaving these ones to really mature and go to seed so I can save some seeds. What I've been trying to do is actually to store seeds for the year ahead. So rather than buying seeds all the time, I'm doing my best to store them. And these callaloo have just been so amazing. We've cooked so many dinners out of these in the past couple of months, and it's been really, really nice. But over here, like I said, there's loads. You can see where I've chopped it. I'll give you a closer look. I've chopped this callaloo bush so many times that it's literally just branched out. You can see all the branches where we've cut from again and again and again, and it just keeps producing. They start going red as the season goes on and they sort of mature. They're quite firm, a bit woody at this point, so what I try to do is just to cut the most tender parts off, and then get that washed and cleaned up. And honestly, this is way better than spinach, if I do say so myself. Just steam this right with some Scotch bonnet pepper, your favorite seasonings, and you're good to go. So loads of callaloo this year. And next year, what will basically happen is a lot of these seeds will fall from the plant and end up in the soil, and you just have volunteer callaloos just growing non-stop. The whole family loves it, especially Abigail, but Naomi not so much. Do you, Nina? You don't seem to like the callaloo very much, but Abigail loves it as well. And down below, hidden, which is one of the reasons why I love growing pumpkins, they just seem to pop up out of nowhere. This was one of our first pumpkins that started growing on the vine. Oh, whatever, Naomi, you don't like callaloo. You pretend you do, but I don't think you do. But you eat it though, because you're a good girl that eats your veggies. But yeah, this is one of our green skin pumpkins now. This is the first year that I've actually grown these green skin varieties, and it's doing really well. Way better than the Crown Prince one that we've grown in previous years, which is quite strange because the Crown Prince normally does very, very well. And this year we've just not had a lot of pollination. A lot of them fallen off. But I really wanted to grow some of these green varieties because we've not actually done it before. And what I will be doing is saving the seeds as well. Seed security is always a good idea, so you can save them for the future, and you'll save money actually buying seeds all the time. And at the front here, we've got some tomatoes. Now, don't even ask me what variety this one is. I just tend to plant most days and end up forgetting what they are, but you can see that they're starting to ripen on the vine. I don't know, do you guys normally pick your tomatoes early, or do you like to leave them, like me, to ripe on the vine? I tend to leave my tomatoes on the vine to ripen as much as I can. And yeah, I think it's best that way, right? And that way you don't end up with like too many just sitting in the house. So this one here has got a nice few bunches on there which are coming along nicely. I'm trying to remember what variety. I think this might be an heirloom variety, but can't remember. Over here we've got some we've actually got some potatoes that I need to harvest, guys. But I doubt I'll be doing that today. Again, trying to keep everything watered has been a struggle, but you can see that they've well and truly started to die back, which is a good sign. These ones here are doing a bit better, so maybe in the next week or so I might start pulling these up and seeing what is actually in the soil. Yeah, I know we're going to have loads of small ones there. Whether or not they're going to be big, I'm not too sure. I don't, oh, there's one there. I don't normally plant potatoes because they're relatively inexpensive in the shop now, although growing your own is much nicer, obviously. I tend to just use the space, because when you've got a limited space, you've got to think about what you're actually planting. And so potatoes normally take up quite a bit of space. I have grown them in grow bags before, but I find when you grow potatoes in grow bags, you just got to be on top of watering them, or else they won't amount to much, and then it's just kind of a waste of time. So yeah, this is a potato section. It's got sweet corn over there, potato, and I went really heavy on pumpkins this year, guys. And I'm not talking about those weird orange jack-o'-lantern pumpkins. I'm talking about these beauties. Look at that. I mean, I can't wait to harvest these. Nice and mature, nice sturdy vine there. And we've got two on this makeshift trellis that I've built. I actually made this out of some old bed frames that we had for the girls for our pumpkins to actually trail on. Let me step back so I can give you a good look of that. And basically pumpkins need a lot of space. As you can see, they spill out everywhere, they like to trail, and I've only got a limited space in the garden where I can actually grow stuff. So in order to do that, I just literally have to think about allowing them to trail on other things. So I've built this climbing frame for my chayote. Let's not talk about that right now because they're not blossoming. But I've also done the same for the pumpkins. So the vines are down there, and I've made sure that it's trailed all the way up. It's actually gone across there and doubled back, and there are other ones that are planted in here. Let me jump down to the comments and see who's here. I can see some of you are actually putting through. Welcome, Lynette Lawrence. Good to have you with us. What else have we got here? We got Lens, Alex, VR. Always a pleasure having you guys join in for sure. Shout out to you, of course, of course. We're just giving you guys a little tour of the garden. It's a bit of an overcast day today, so it's not been super hot. So I think I can manage to walk around in the garden and show you. So I was just showing you the pumpkins. I've actually got another one on here. They're nice and hidden. Another really good size. I'm so excited to try this variety. I literally got this in the grocery store when I went to London earlier on this year. So I've never grown these green ones before, but pumpkins are really expensive, like proper pumpkins, not those orange ones that they use for carving, but the ones that you roast and you cook and you make those awesome stews out of. And yeah, just amazing. So we've got a couple growing on here, but one thing I have noticed is that a lot of them have actually turned yellow and fallen off. I think that's probably a combination between lack of pollination and also just the drought that we've been having. Trying to keep these plants watered has been tough, really tough. So yeah, thank you guys so much for those who have subbed. Much appreciated, honestly. Welcome to the community. There's quite a few of us here on YouTube that love growing food in our own backyard, and yeah, welcome on board. We've got Mush Rose Lifestyle. Hello, welcome. Good to have you with us. Let me know in the comments, do you guys have grow food in your own gardens? Yeah, or do you just enjoy watching? Because I do know there's two types of folks out there: those who enjoy watching and in the hopes of doing it one day, and those who are actively doing, which is, you know, best of both worlds really. So yeah, welcome on board. There's another callaloo. Just literally these things spring up everywhere. I don't even need to plant the seeds at this point. Yes, nature is lovely. I definitely agree with that. Oh, we got some beans here. I harvested some a couple of days ago, so I wasn't expecting to see any here. I literally threw these in late in the season just to see if anything would grow, and these are called wild dwarf beans, and they are really nice. I will be planting them again. They don't get very tall, and they are quite prolific. If you've got a little patch, they can definitely give you a lot of food throughout the growing season. Oh, let me see if there's any more on there. Like I said, I have harvested some recently, so yeah, there's another one. So I'm going around showing you the garden, but at the same time looking to see what is available for harvest. There's always stuff hidden away, so a few beans here, a few beans there, it all adds up, and we can take these straight to our kitchen and actually get cooking, which is nice. So these are nice. We literally just cook them in a stir fry, you know, with the skin. We don't even pick them out. The beans are nice and white, nice white hard, and they're quite hardy as well. And that's it. I think that's all we've got here now. There's another one. Yeah, there's always more lurking around. You just probably need two hands to search through properly, but I will definitely be growing these again. I do like the way they taste. So these are wild dwarf beans, guys. Let's go put this in our container. And I'll also show you what I've harvested already. This one here is a courgette, your normal green courgette, and these ones always grow really well throughout the growing season. I picked this from our courtyard. I literally only have one plant this year because of space, but I've also got the round variety of this. You've probably seen me upload a video of the roundini, it's called. And so this one is just a normal green one, which we've used this one to actually make pickles before, and you literally pickle it in some brine, leave it in the cupboards, and it will last for at least a year. So really, really good for pickling. And this is a little cucumber. Look at that. It looks very alien if you ask me. This one was picked from a cucumber plant that is tucked away under here. Probably not the best idea to plant it here, because look at these runner bean plants. They've actually taken over the whole raised bed. So that poor cucumber wasn't able to perform that well. But it gave me a couple off of it this year, so I can't complain. Yeah, yeah, these beans are really nice, Rose. I highly, highly recommend them. And this tomato here is one that we've picked from our Roma plant. I think there's a few more in the greenhouse, which I'll show you in a minute, that we need to harvest, and they're really nice. These you can just slice them, put them in salads, or you can actually cook them down to make pasta sauce if you've got enough of them. So on my runner bean plants, and this is perhaps my favorite bean to plant because they're just so easy to grow. Honestly, like if you're a novice and you want to grow some beans in your garden, runner beans are the way forward. And they absolutely are a prolific grower. You harvest them today, and by tomorrow, guess what? There's more to pick. So this is probably going to be the lion's share of my harvest today. Let's pick some of these just to show you guys, and then I'll probably finish up later on. So yeah, all you need is something for them to climb on, and they do like to trail. So it's a good idea to pick them early as well. So what you want to do with the running beans, if you've not grown them before, is try and harvest them before they get too big. Because now, although they're still edible, they become a bit stringy. And on the outside area, they tend to grow these strings, which are a bit annoying when you're eating them. But when you pick them when they're nice and young and tender like this, then you won't have any strings in there. And you can literally just chop them up, saute them, and they're brilliant. Okay, Rose, you plant runner beans as well, but they don't grow. It's interesting that you say that, because one of my subscribers, good friend Jan, she also planted some runner beans, and what she found was that they were being eaten by slugs before the plants could mature. I personally haven't had much issue there. I have had a few slug encounters, but they never do enough damage to stop them from growing. And they always just bounce back, and before long they just take off. They grow really, really quickly once the temperatures sort of warm up. So I've not had an issue growing runner beans personally, as you can see. Literally, I can't even see through at this point. They're just so much of them growing. I've grown maybe one on each of these bamboo canes, made like a teepee at and I got five canes, and there's at least 5 runner bean plants. So let me step back to show you just how massive it is, and that's just from 5 plants. And I find it difficult, especially this time now when it's in full swing. The bees love the blossoms and the flowers, so it's really, really a good thing to have in your garden for pollinators. And you've got to keep picking them, or else you will just not be able to get the tender ones. They grow so fast. So if I pick today, by tomorrow I have to harvest again. And these are the sizes that are really, really nice. So maybe it's the location that you're planting them in, Rose. If you're in like a very heavy traffic flow, if you want to call it that, for the slugs and the snails, then maybe you've got to keep them out of that area until they're mature enough. That's what I would think. I tend to plant mine in pots, in containers first, and then when they're sort of, maybe around a meter in length or half a meter in length, I then transplant them to the designated area that I want them to sort of live and grow. So by then they would have had a few leaves on, and they would have been mature enough to actually survive any onslaught from those pesky slugs. Um, Failing that, perhaps trying to use something to suppress the snails and the slugs. I've tried using bear trap with mixed results. I've literally come out at night times. I don't know if you've done that, to actually um, pick off slugs when they've come, to the garden to try and feast, and dispose of them that way. You've got to do everything you can, especially when the plants are young. But once they reach this stage, I mean, there's no snail or slug alive that's stopping them. So yeah, hopefully you can have some more luck with those. And thanks for subscribing. Welcome on board. What else are you growing in your garden, guys? I've got tons of runner beans, as you can see. That's probably just like 20% of what I can harvest. I'll do the rest later on, or else we'll be here all day. They've literally gone through to my neighbor's garden as well. I told them whenever they got any on their side, feel free to pick some as well. Let me take you into the greenhouse and show you what's going on in there. I haven't got a huge amount of plants in there in the greenhouse, but what we do have is doing rather well. Our tomatoes, how warm is it in here? 30 degrees, not too bad. It's kind of an overcast day today. But one thing I love to grow in greenhouse, guys, are tomatoes. Honestly, they love it in here because it's so warm. And as long as you keep watering them, trust me when I say they will just end up. I mean, I'm 6'2", and this greenhouse is probably around 6'5" to 7". And as you can see, this tomato plant is touching and actually starting to bend in the greenhouse. That's how well they tend to grow in here. And down below we've actually got some ripening, which is nice. Again, I can't remember what variety it is. I didn't label these ones, unfortunately, but they look really, really pretty. Look at that. How cool is that? And these are the first bunches that are on there, but if you go up you can see that there's even more and more and more all the way to the top. We've got 3 tomato bushes in here. We've got the San Marzano ones over here, which also have some ripening. Let me see if I can reach these and get them picked. There we go. Oh, look at those. How pretty is that? Absolutely beautiful. No attack from any pests, which is always a good sign. And yeah, tomatoes are starting to come in. Let's pick one of these. I'm so curious to try these ones. Gosh, I really need to do better at labeling these. You know what it's like when things get hectic, you end up just throwing things in the ground and you start off labeling really well, and then yeah, sometimes you can end up not actually putting the labels down. But those are some tomatoes. I've got some more outside. Down here I've got some sweet potato which has been attacked by these sort of little worms or caterpillars. I have no idea what they are or where they're from. But my sweet potato has spread, which is nice. It's looking good. Whether or not there'll be any tubers at the end of the season, only time will tell. But it's definitely looking really, really good. This is a purple variety of sweet potato. I just bought this from the shop this year because I didn't have time to actually get the slips prepared in good time so that they could go out. You need to have your potato slips ready by, say, January, guys. They need to be in pots, waiting for the temperature, sorry, to get warm so that you can get them in the ground, because our growing season is so short that you literally just don't have any time to waste. So yeah, we'll see at the end of the season whether or not we'll have any sweet potato. That would be amazing, honestly, because we love our sweet potato in our family. Yeah, Lynette, the tomatoes are beautiful. Thank you so much. Yeah, you like Romas? Yeah, Roma tomatoes are really, really popular. A lot of people like them. I think that aesthetically they look really nice and they actually taste good. So I've planted quite a few this year. Most of what's ripening at the moment are the Roma variety, except this one. Any ideas what this might be? It looks a bit pink rather than red. I don't know if the camera does it justice, but yeah. So those are what we got harvested in the greenhouse. We've got this plant. Do anyone know what this is? Let me see if I can get that on the camera. This is a tropical root vegetable. Let's see, for all you plant enthusiasts. Any ideas what this is? So we've got it there in this pot, and we've got around 4 to 5 plants there. And it's such a gorgeous plant. I'm hoping to overwinter this in the house because last year the season wasn't long enough for us to get any tubers. And this, if you're not sure, is a taro, they call it. Or from if you're from Jamaica, where I'm from, they also call this a cocoa yam or cocoa. And it's a root vegetable like a yam, but it's smaller. And they use it in soups. You can cook it, you can roast it, and I'm sure you can do tons more. And in some cultures, they actually eat the leaves, which I've not done before. So yeah, really, really cool. That's absolutely loving life in the greenhouse. We got some aubergines down there, but they're just putting on flowers. I'm not sure whether or not we're going to get anything from them. Cucumber, we've all seen my cucumber saga, those of you who've been watching my channel. We've harvested around 8 cucumbers from here, and they're still putting on some flowers, so with any luck we might just get 1 or 2 more, but yeah, who knows, maybe that's it for the season. And I've got a globe artichoke in this container here. Now these plants get absolutely massive, so I'm not sure where I'm going to put it, but it's currently living in this pot and enjoying life. And we'll see if we're able to overwinter it for next season. So watch the space for that one. And last but not least, I wanted to show you guys this because I'm so gutted. We grew melons, watermelons this year, and as you can see, I actually had 2 fruit growing on the vine. And for some reason, the plant didn't like it and it decided to give up the ghost. I think what might have killed this plant is the fact that I used some liquid fertilizer that I made at home, and maybe it was too strong, maybe, I'm not sure. And it literally, I just watched it curl up and start to wilt, and then yeah, it's now dead. And so these are remnants of what could have been, guys. Look, I actually grew watermelons, and they were growing so rapidly that by now they would have been at least 4 times this size if the mother plant hadn't died. So I'm not going to give up. I'm going to try again next year for sure to grow watermelons, because this is proof that it can happen. And I've seen others grow melons in their garden. I think I've seen AA Home Garden actually grow some, and others here in the UK. So I will be giving it another go. We've still got a vine down here, but this one is looking kind of weak, so not holding my breath. So yeah, that's it for the garden, guys. Loads of tomatoes, sweet potato, and some aubergine. But as for the rest of the garden, I'll show you guys what's going on. So yeah, we've got some tomatoes to go with what we've been harvesting. Let's go around in the courtyard and actually show you guys what else we've got growing. So this is a part of our garden, which is the walkway that leads up to our actual garden. We've got a very strange garden. You can see the sun is coming out now, guys. It's starting to really warm up. So it's our strawberry patch, which I need to do something with for the next season for sure. So watch the space. But here is our walkway. Now look at that sunflower, guys. It's around 11 feet tall. Absolutely stunning. I love sunflowers, in case you haven't noticed. So yeah, what have we got here? We've got another pumpkin plant, which is here. Again, I'm literally just trying to put them everywhere, and look at that. That one's looking really pretty. It hasn't fallen off, thank God. So that's one more coming along. There was another smaller one, but I'm not sure if that's going to stick, or to me kind of looks like it's going to start turning yellow, which sadly has been the case for many in the garden. So this plant has got one that seemed to be staying put, and if you look under here, this was one of the first ones. There's a little one down there, and it's gone really, to be fair, I could probably harvest this one already. It's been there for quite some time. You can see the skin has gone really a dark green, and yeah, it's a small pumpkin, but a pumpkin is still a pumpkin if you ask me, and it's going to be so sweet, I'm sure of it. So I'm just leaving these to fully ripen on the vine, and you can see the leaves are starting to dry up, so that's a good sign that that's definitely maturing. But I leave them to stay on the vine for as long as I can, in order to make sure that they're able to overwinter, because that's one of the things with pumpkins, you can keep them for months over winter. That's why I grow them. So even when did we have our last one? We had our last pumpkin this year, I think around late January, and that wasn't frozen or anything. It was literally sitting in our garage, and yeah, you can freeze them as well if you're up for that. So we've got two that seems to be a success on here, which is lovely. We've got this bit is called Tomato Alley because I've got these brackets that I made that I used to hang the tomatoes on, and this is a beef variety, which is absolutely loaded. Got quite a few clusters there, and I've cut the leaves back, making sure that I pinch out all of these. Welcome, Island Sisters, good to see you, girl. um, we're just doing a little tour of our garden, harvesting some vegetables. Got some tomatoes here. Yeah, I'm definitely going to pick this one before something comes and start chomping it. I have grown these in the greenhouse before, and they were like around 3 times this size. This year we've stuck quite a few outside of the greenhouse, and that's a nice size one there. These are like a beef steak type tomatoes. Really cool when you slice them. They got all of these ridges around the side. They're great in sandwiches, very meaty, which is something that we love. So that's nice. And I'll pick this one as well, but I'll leave the others for now so that they can ripen on the vine. And just like that, starting to come in thick and fast, guys. Now this is one that I've been dying, and I mean dying, to harvest. Oh, they're nearly ready. I mean, look at that, they're so pink. These were gifted to me by a good friend, another subscriber, Jan. Shout out to you. I don't know if you're watching or whenever you decide to pick up this video, but look, these are called I think, let me get this right, ox heart variety. So if you look at them, they literally look like a heart, right? And they're really pretty to look at. Honestly, it looks like something that you would draw in a book, but they're actually a variety of tomato, and to me they look kind of pink. I'm just gonna pick this one and take it indoors. This one's a bit misshapen, but you get the gist. It actually looks like a heart. It's more elongated rather than, your typical round tomato. Very firm. Can't wait to taste it to see what it tastes like. But there's another one coming along just behind it there, but really pink before it starts to kind of go red. Fascinating stuff, man. There's so many different varieties of tomatoes. This one was slightly damaged, but I'm sure it'll be fine. So many varieties of tomatoes, it's unreal. And so yeah, we've got around 4 tomato plants here, all loaded, as you can see. These ones haven't started ripening yet, so we'll leave them for a while, along with these ones also. But looking really good. Nice sunny day. And what else have we got here? Look at this guy. So again, in the quest to grow as many pumpkins as I can in a limited space, I've started getting them to trail up the fence. This one actually didn't fall off and it's stayed on the plant, but they become so heavy. This is several pounds, guys. This is a big one. I've got massive hands, so it gives you an idea just how big they are. And I've had to use some old tights, the old tights tie-up method. Don't judge me, it works. Just to give it some support so that the plant stem isn't taking all of that weight, because it could actually damage the pumpkin, and the nutrients that it need won't go through. So you want to make sure you tie up your pumpkins if indeed you've got them suspended like this, by any means necessary. So that's another one. So far I've counted around 7 or 8 good sized pumpkins that we've got in the garden. So hopefully we might get a couple more. Down below here we did have some of those beans like what we've harvested earlier on, these dwarf white beans. These ones, this is where I planted them first. Welcome to the Stone Island family. Listen, are you guys still in the UK? I wasn't sure. I've been watching your content, but I must say that I've kind of lapsed. You guys came back for your victory tour, it seems. I've been really enjoying seeing your family, watching your journey. But yeah, I need to catch up with your videos, but welcome. I'm just here harvesting some of what we're growing in the garden. And yeah, but unfortunately, as you can see, things just get out of hand. These pumpkins have just come and absolutely bullied these poor beans. They've ran all the way through, smothering them. But look, nature's so amazing. They're not stopping, they're still producing despite the pumpkins being such bullies. But I forgive them because they do produce really nice pumpkins, so you can't win them all. Um, wow, this is a first. So this is evidence that slugs do eat beans on the vine. This is the first time I've actually seen this. Look at that. They've eaten clean through that pod and all of the beans are actually gone. That is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Let's see if there's any more. I can hardly reach because of all these leaves. But yeah, you've just got to comb through, guys, and make sure you get every last one so that the garden pests don't get them. So yeah, it's getting really warm now. So that is it pretty much for this section. And the last thing that we've got growing here is our runner beans. That is flanked by this absolutely giant sunflower, guys. More runner beans because I love growing them and they're easy to grow. And if you don't pick them, like I said, they're just going to get way too big. What we've been doing, because this time of the year we get so much that we can't physically eat them all. I mean, there's only so many beans you can eat in one sitting, and because I can harvest literally almost like every day, I've had to give some away. So if you're living close to me and you want to pop around for some runner beans, guys, you know sharing is caring, right? And we've got plenty and they're so tasty. When you pick them like this, we like to just wash them, chop them into segments, and just throw them in a vegetable stir fry with some soy sauce or whatever type of stir fry sauce you like. And it's just amazing with some broccoli, cauliflower, all of that good stuff. The kids just adore eating them as well, which is always nice. Again, I'm gonna need to come back and go through this because there's so many on there, and again the pollinators love them. So if you want to look after your bees, look after the environment, plant flowers like these runner beans, so you're getting the flowers but you're also getting the beans, so it's the best of both worlds and just non-stop really. Yeah, so that's the main part of our garden. This walkway leads into our main part of our garden, and last but not least, I'll show you guys our courtyard. You know, we've got a very weird country cottagey garden where it's not directly behind our house. So this is our courtyard area where we've got a few beans as well growing that were planted late. But these I think are meant to be red peas or red kidney beans. I'm waiting to see what they're gonna look like once they mature. I just threw a few in here as I've never grown them before. But next year, if they come out good, I will definitely be growing some more of these. And this is where we've got a few sweet corn, which are doing okay, and our courgette plants. I've already harvested that large courgette. This one is the round variety that we've got. I'm not going to harvest this one because I'm leaving it to fully mature on the vine because I want to harvest the seeds from it. I did take some seeds from another one, but I'm not sure whether or not they will come to anything because that actual courgette was quite young, so I want this to ripen on the vine so that seeds are really mature because I'm saving the seeds for next season. So yeah, you can see the plant is starting to die back now. The leaves are drying up, coming to the end of its life cycle, but it was really a good attempt this year. We'll definitely be planting that again. Down here we've got one and only crown prince pumpkin, which is a shame. Normally we grow so many of these and you can tell the difference with the color. This is less green, almost gray looking, and I love this pumpkin, but for some reason only one of them actually fruited this year. So I guess that's how it was meant to be. So we're looking forward to harvesting that. I'm going to savor it for sure. Yes, Island Sisters, I wish you were close, girl. Honestly, you know you would get your supply because as they say, sharing is caring, and when you're getting all these organic veggies, you know what's not to love. So this is my only Crown Prince, and it's really mature. You can see the color is almost going a bit yellow because it's so ready to be picked. But again, I'm not even going to pick it just yet. And in the back, we've got some more Roma tomatoes. Let me see if I can step over, guys, and get these ones picked because they're definitely ready to go. There's one here. There's two plants.